Hello, hello. Seth Lewis here, founder of Momentum U. And today I just have something that I want you to think about. Pretty simple question, but I've been asking the question to a lot of people, and it's been interesting the response that I've gotten. And again, the question is this: if we all agree that momentum is such a powerful force, I mean, if you think about it, if you watch a sporting event, if you listen to music, if there's any type of event, if you agree, and I've asked a lot of people and talked to a lot of people, and pretty much everybody agrees that momentum is a powerful force. My question that I want you to think about is, if it is, and we truly believe that it is, why are we not teaching momentum in business? If you think about this, and some of the responses that I got have been very interesting. To be honest, nobody's really been able to answer the question very well. It's been, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But if you think about it, we all pretty much agree that momentum is a powerful force. If you're watching a game on Saturday or Sunday or during the week, and a team has momentum, it just seems like you can't be stopped. So if that's the case, why would you not want that in your business or organization? Makes sense. But how have we missed this? Why isn't this in any curriculum in the business world? It's an interesting question. I'd like you to think about that as we go. And I've been asking people the question, and I've been really excited to hear what people have thought. But the number one thing that I've come across and what I've discovered in my journey is most people believe that momentum cannot be controlled. I've talked to a lot of groups and then talked to people individually, and a lot of times, most people say when you get momentum, you want to ride it. You want to get on it, and you want to stay on it as long as you can. But what is interesting about that is what happens in the other steps? What happens before you get momentum? How do you do that? And again, going back to my opening statement, is we all agree that momentum is a powerful force. So in the world today, I try not to talk about it too often, but it's all the time we're talking about COVID, it seems like. And they're talking about a vaccine or a shot. But let's take that and replace that with the word momentum. If you could have a momentum shot in your business, where would you put it? How would it help you? Chances are there's a spot where if you could inject momentum like you've seen in so many other areas. Sports is where it sticks out the most for me, but that's something that I'm, interested in. But when you think about it and you inject it into a game, or you see a game, or you see something where it's injected, it makes everything easier. The team can do nothing wrong. The other team can't stop them. So in your business, where would you put it? I would love to hear your thoughts. Where would you inject momentum in your business? And what I've done with my book that's coming out shortly in December, it's not out yet. But what I've done is when I've talked to global leaders from around the world, we've actually worked through the process, and I've come up with 7 steps that allow you, it gives you the framework that's applicable in any business for you to start and sustain momentum. So this the myth that momentum cannot be controlled, is clearly a myth. It's something that we've accepted. We've believed it. And we've believed it so much that we haven't looked any further. We haven't questioned it. But when you think about all the topics in business that we go to seminars and things on leadership and culture. And think about all the other topics that you go and study. And I ask the question again, If momentum is such a powerful force, why are we not talking about it? Why are we not studying it? And I would encourage you to really think about that, because if momentum is as powerful as we think it is, and obviously I believe it is, and the people that are in my book believe that it is, why aren't we studying it? It's a great question to ask. And usually I get a lot of stutters. I'm not sure. That's a great question, but it makes a lot of sense. So if one of the responses I get a lot of times is there's not a way to quantify it. There's not a way to measure it. But in the 7 steps, what I've put together is we put away that clear steps to start and sustain it and to measure those steps. So if you can measure it, that means you can track it. And if you can track it, that means you can implement it. And if you can implement it, you have it. So it's very exciting, the concept of momentum. And I really want you to think about that. And I just wanted to come on today and let you think about that. If you're interested in talking about your business, if you're interested in finding out how to leverage momentum, Momentum U might be the program or course for you. We combine mindset with strategy, and when we do that, you see explosive momentum. We look at the narrative that you're told and the way that you make decisions. And once you take some of those mindset blocks away or identify how you process things, it changes everything, the way that you run your business and the way that you think about business and everything else. But I want you to know, and I want you to take away from this today, that you can control momentum. It's time. And I set out on this global initiative, and it starts in a small town, but it has had global support from people all over the world. And it's been a fun journey, because even some of the top leaders around the world do not understand why we haven't studied it, but they agree 100% that it's a powerful force. And I believe that's why some of them have supported my book or wanted to be a part of it, because they realized that this force of momentum is real. And at this point, nobody's really tackled the subject. So my hope is this audio or video, or however you're listening to it, if it's podcast or on a live stream, is that this is the beginning point of a new topic that people have overlooked for so long, the myth that you can't control momentum. And when you see my 7 steps and we break down the 7 steps, you're going to be able to see how you can apply it to any business or organization. And it's exciting. I would ask, if you're interested in learning more about this, to check out Momentum U. Go to explosivemomentum.com. You can set up a call with me. That's explosivemomentum.com. We can talk strategy. We can talk about how we can inject momentum in your business. What would it look like? If you think about a sporting event that a team has momentum, think about that in your business. If you could inject momentum in your business, where would you do it? What would the impact be of putting it into your business? If you're doing $1 million in business, would it take you to 1.5? If you're doing 10 million, would it take you to 15? If you're doing 50, would it take you to 75? Momentum's a game changer, and it really swings it to your favor. So again, think about that question and think about it in your business. Why aren't we teaching it? Why are we not studying it? And then what I would challenge you is to follow the information that I put out. Reach out to me. Let's connect. Let's talk about how maybe we can inject it into your business or organization. I think you'll be surprised. You may have a lot of the pieces already there, but you haven't tied them all together. One of the things that the industry has done that has been terrible with business is we focus on all the parts. And actually, Aristotle said the whole is greater than the sum of all the parts. And what that means is your hand is not meaningful without your arm, or your foot is not meaningful without your leg. And all of these things combine together. The whole is powerful, and momentum is the whole. But if you look at culture, if you look at leadership, if you look at these areas and you only study culture, you're really going to have short-term momentum. If you study leadership, you're only going to have short-term momentum. Will you get momentum? Absolutely. But it'll peak and then it'll go down. It'll rise and it'll fall. So when you think about momentum and how powerful it can be, it's important to know that up until this time, nobody's really looked to study it and bring it all together of the pieces and put a formula that is measurable. It's not just some buzzword. And that's what I seek to do in my book, is give 7 steps that you can implement in your business or organization. That's measurable. So again, I challenge you to ask yourself the question, what would it do in your business? How can you leverage it? And start studying it, because that is going to be a part of your advantage in your organization. Because when you have momentum, it makes everything easier. And when things are easier, people are energized. There's so many areas that momentum affects. And at the end of the day, it comes back to who you are and you being your best self. If you can show up because maybe you have money in the bank, or you're profitable, you have sales, all of those things are momentum. Maybe you can spend time with your family because you have good teams and crews, and those people can do it as well. So momentum is a game changer, but it's not just one thing. It's a combination of a lot of pieces and parts, and we specifically go through 7 of them. So follow me. If you like this, share it. Set up a call if you want to talk strategy about how maybe it can set up and work in your business at explosivemomentum.com. Thanks for tuning in. And follow momentum. Momentum is something that you're going to hear a lot about. And there's a lot of people already around the world supporting this initiative because it's been something that's been overlooked. And how many times, and this is one of my favorite things, but how many times are you in the kitchen or wherever you may be on a job site and you say, man, this is so obvious and so simple that why didn't I think of that? And when I did research on this, I just couldn't find anything that really anybody went to tackle this topic and own the topic. And that question still stumps people, and I'll finish on it here. But if momentum is so powerful, and we all agree of its power, and we've witnessed it many times, why do we not study it, and why do we not implement it in business? Shoot me a message. I would love to hear your answer for that. I would love to hop on a call with you and talk about it more. I love business. Go to explosivemomentum.com. You can also find out more about Momentum U, where we teach these things. And think about it. You can control momentum. There's a framework for it. We've defined it. We have 7 steps that do this, and you can benefit. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this, share it. Hear it on a variety of mediums: YouTube, podcasts, Facebook, LinkedIn. If you like it, share it. Let us know if there's any topics that you want to hear. Reach out to me. I'd be happy to cover it. If you have specific questions of how momentum can be injected into your business or organization, I would love to talk to you. There's so many ways it can be useful, and the benefits are plenty. Thanks for tuning in. Seth Lewis, founder of Momentum U. Enjoy the rest of your day.